Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about on a very cold winter's day. It's the middle of December, it's about 3 degrees, and I'm out and about to bring you another bike review. Today I'm riding a bike that I'm a bit late to the party on because this one came out in 2015. It's the Suzuki GSXS-1000F. Stick around, stay tuned, I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, the GSXS-1000F then. As I say, a bike that's been around for some years now, and I've got no good excuse as to why I haven't ridden it so far, because I've liked the look of this for ages. It's a bike that I suspect the looks split opinions somewhat, because it's got some weird-ish looking curved fairings all over it. I think it looks great. It reminds me of something like the Bat bike. If Batman rode a motorcycle, then it would be one of these, I think. It's a bike that fits into, I suppose you'd describe it as a sport touring bike. It's with the emphasis very much on the sport, because this bike has got the 1000cc or 999cc engine out of one of the previous GSXR1000s. I think it was from the 2005 to 2008 model, so an old but proven engine. Very powerful, something like 147 brake horsepower in what is an upright sport touring bike. So I'm a massive fan of sport tourers, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to ride this. So this is very much going to be my first impressions review, and I'll take you through all the stuff that you're going to want to know if you're interested in a bike like this. Together with, of course, doing a bit of a walk around of the bike in a minute and talking you through the spec as well. So what first strikes you when you jump on this? Is the first time I've ridden this bike. First thing that strikes me is quite how sporty it is actually. It's got a lot of go, this bike. These roads are very slippery today and greasy, so I'm not going to be thrashing it, but the 4-cylinder engine's got a great induction noise to it, and it just feels eager. The riding position itself is pretty sporty. My legs feel quite tucked up. Although I'm sat upright in a very comfortable position, my knees are at quite an acute angle, with the foot pegs relatively well set back. So it does feel sporty from the legs down. In terms of comfort, this big fairing does a great job with the big screen on here. This is the standard screen, and it seems massive. And it's doing a pretty good job of keeping the wind off, I have to say. Love this stretch of road. Yeah, handles are nice actually through the twisties. Stop the old eyes watering, it's a bit chilly today, as I say. Right, let's not go too mad. Haha! Excellent. So yeah, where was I? Comfort. The seat on here, quite hard actually. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable, but certainly it feels like it could do with maybe a little bit more padding. It's very wide, the bike. My knees feel like they're a long way apart. That might be because I'm not used to riding 4-cylinder bikes. Of course, 4-cylinder engines are that much wider than the twins I'm used to. I'm steaming up in here a bit. And the suspension is relatively harsh out of the box. Again, it's set up more on the sporty side of sport touring. A little bit of rain in the air now, just to add to our woes. Love the noise this engine makes. Superb. Okay, while we're going through the practical things then, what else can I tell you? The mirrors. I love these mirrors actually. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but they've got a nice design to them on these stems. Really nicely made. The build quality looks great. They're not waggling around, unlike my camera here. If you're getting a stabilised image off of that camera, that's my new GoPro 9, I'll be amazed. So it's going to be a good test on that. But yeah, the mirrors work really nicely. Right, nothing behind me. I'm just going to test the brakes. Rainbow calipers on the front. Oh yeah, they work really nicely. And let's try the rears. Oh, actually the rears are very good. I think it's got Nissan calipers on the back end, and unusually the backs work really well. Yeah, it's got an eagerness about this. Hello, white van, stay there. Thank you, sir. Don't spoil me fun this early on. Haha, brilliant. I'm running the gauntlet with this camera because I've not got any backup straps on it. It could fall off at any moment. which would be a right shame because I spent a lot of money on that camera. Anyway, I digress. Well, I have to say, this is a cracking bike. I'm grinning away already, even though it's a cold day and this bike has no creature comforts, no heated grips as standard on the bike. Sadly, this one hasn't got heated grips, so I've got my heated gloves on. But even on a grim day today where it's slippery, cold and wet, really nice bike to ride. I thought I'd probably like this one, and I have to say I do. An abundance of power, and one of the great things about this bike is it's a great price. I checked on the Suzuki website and it's under £10,000 at the moment, this bike. I think something like 9,700. I'll check that when we go through the spec in a minute, but yeah, really great value for such a performant machine. And this is one of those bikes you can do everything on. You can go away and tour on it, you can commute on it, and then at the weekends you can have an absolute blast on the back lanes. Yeah, nice one, Suzuki. The dash on the bike, I suppose, dates it a little bit. Actually, let's give you a clean. I hope you can see okay through the water droplets on the camera lens. But yeah, it's got an LCD dash on here. It's very clear, nicely laid out actually. Proper fuel gauge, I'm glad to see, temperature gauge, gear position indicator. Everything you need there, as well as a clock. So although it's you know, it's not the latest and greatest TFT, I actually quite like that. And in fact, one of the things I like about this bike is the fact that it's not laden with unnecessary electronics. It does have quite a sophisticated traction control actually, which is probably just as well with a bike with this much power. ABS of course, but that is about it. It does have Suzuki's brilliant I can't remember what they call it, but the thing that allows you to pull away easily without stalling the bike. It's something like pull away assist or something. And it has the brilliant Suzuki start button as well. You just touch the button, the bike starts. You don't have to hold it on like you do on other bikes. I like that simple thing, but it seems to work well. So yeah, from a riding perspective, really like it. I suppose the only downside is the ride's possibly a little bit harsh, but the suspension is adjustable, so you can get that sorted out. Anyway, we're just coming back into Great Missenden now. I'll go to the train station, I think. Hopefully it's not too busy, and I'll show you around the bike. Be fascinated to see how the horizon levelling on this camera works. Just going to go around this little mini roundabout, watch the horizon behind me as I go around. I've had to slow down so I'm not leaning as much now. Is it staying level? So I lean the bike over? Yeah. So I'm recording this in December. It's actually December the 3rd. It's the first day after lockdown 2.0, my first ride, having not ridden a motorcycle for a month. So I'm absolutely chuffed to be out. That may be part of the reason why I've got a grin on my face. Boy, it is cold. By the time you get to see this, I think this is scheduled for about February time. Hopefully the light and the weather will start to be improving, and maybe we'll be getting to grips with COVID now the vaccines are starting to get approved. Anyway, let me park her over here, and I'll show you around the bike the usual way. Easy to find neutral. Stand's got a nice big sort of bar on the end so you can kick it out nice and easy. Right, let's kill her. Oh. And there she is, the bat bike as I know it, the GSXS-1000F. This one in white obviously, comes in a gloss and a matte black and the Suzuki blue in various types as well. I have to say the white is probably my least favourite colour of all of them, and the weather forecast is set pretty grim for the next few days, so this one is going to get filthy, but that's going to be fun. Alright, let me get my phone out and I'll talk you through the spec in the usual way. Okay, here she is then, the GSX-S1000F, the F of course for fairing. This particular one is obviously the Suzuki UK press bike on a 2019 plate, so even though it's been around for 2015, this one of course is a new bike. It's only done about 1,000 miles actually, so it's run in, but not done too many miles, this particular vehicle. I think it's a handsome looking bike. That windscreen, I'm told, is the standard screen. It looks massive, and it does a great job of keeping the weather off you as well, which is excellent. Well, let's go through the spec then. First up, the engine on this, as I say, it came out of a GSX-R1000 from a previous generation, the bike actually from 2008, and it puts out 150 PS at 10,000 RPM. That's about 148 brake horsepower, so same sort of power league as my 899 Panigale. So this is a fast bike. In terms of torque, 108 newton meters at 9,500 RPM. That's 79.6 foot-pounds in the old money. Brakes on here, if you have a look at the fronts, these are Brembo calipers on here on twin discs. Work really well. 310mm up front, 4-pot Brembo calipers. Single disc at the back with a Nissin caliper. Let's get round. Can we see it? Yeah, there we go. There's the rear brake, and that works surprisingly well actually. The suspension, 43mm KYB inverted forks at the front here. And in terms of adjustability, they've got damping, rebound, compression and preload adjustment. The rear, according to the website, is just link type coil spring oil damped. Nothing special, but it does have basic adjustment as well on there, as you can see under there. How clean is that looking at the moment? That's going to change in the next few days. Seat height on here, very reasonable, 810mm. Quite hard, as I say, but quite comfy in terms of its shape. Rear seat, this bike not really made for pillions, to be honest. I mean, you could stick somebody on there, but I don't think I'd fancy it. I'd probably put a seat cowl on there, which you can get as an accessory. The weight of this bike, it's curb weight, so fully fueled, ready to go, 214 kilograms. Doesn't feel a heavy bike at all. In fact, that is quite light for a bike in this sort of category. Tank capacity on here, 17 litres this tank holds. Not huge, but Suzuki claims 53.3 miles per gallon. I've no reason to disbelieve them, so you're going to get a fair range out of there. It is for touring after all. Electronics on here, as I say, blissfully just the stuff you need. ABS and traction control. The low RPM assist is that thing that I was talking about that sort of helps you to not stall it as you pull away, and the easy start system that I love. Price on here, I said I'd check, $9,799. That is a lot of bike, a lot of powerful bike for that sort of money. Colours I've talked about. You can also get, in terms of accessories, you can get a carbon sports pack. It's an extra 700 quid. Gives you all sorts of carbon trinkets and decals. You can get a tourer pack. That gives you the heated grips that I definitely want. Tank bag, tail bag, bigger screen. And there are other accessories like red brake calipers for the front, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's nice. It's a proper honest motorcycle. I like it a lot. Alrighty, let's jump on and ride us some more and come up with our final thoughts. Cool, blimey, what a day for this. Things I do for you guys. Right, let's try this easy start. So you turn the bike on in the usual way and you just touch the button basically. That button. There you go. And she's off. I like that. Great feature. Alrighty. Steaming up in my glasses already. Let's get a bit of airflow. So I must say a huge thank you to Suzuki UK for lending me this bike. As I mentioned, this is my next long-termer. I've got this for the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, the weather forecast is appalling, so you're going to see it in the worst possible times. It actually might be a good way to test the bike, to be fair. And over the next few days and weeks, I'm going to ride the pants off it, and I'll bring you a selection of more videos, including my top 5 things that I love about the bike. And of course, towards the end of my session with the bike, or my period with the bike, I'll bring you all the lessons I've learnt. I'll give you my in-depth review. We'll not tell you all the pros and cons of the bikes, but I'll also show you what it's like on a motorway, what it's like riding through town, in the dark, all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in this bike in terms of purchase, then stick around, stay tuned to the channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. Lots more coming on the GSX-S1000F. Great to see all the shops open here in Great Bissenden again. Pub open there, a couple of people having a drink. Not sure what the rules are on that. As I mentioned, this is the first day after our second lockdown here in England. People are itching to get out, and we've just had the news that the first COVID vaccine has been licensed for use here in England. By the time you see this in February, you might have an idea of how that's going, how that rollout's proceeding, but high hopes. Alrighty, well, it's a horrible day to be out on the bike, so I'm going to head back home now. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it of interest if you're interested in this particular bike. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mist and Flyer. Cheerio.